And now, 93.1 The Lake presents another hometown hero.
I'm Walter L. Watson, Jr., retired Air Force colonel. For 5 years, my job was to be the fastest man on Earth. I flew the SR-71 Blackbird that routinely flew at speeds exceeding Mach 3, which is more than 2,100 miles per hour. Once you get it up there and you're cruising, it's relatively smooth unless you hit some pocket of temperature that goes opposite of what you thought. The closer you got to the North Pole, it got to be more exaggerated. The coldest place is over the equator. The air that gets heated over the equator, it's got to go someplace. Where's it go? It goes to either of the poles. What's that lead? The coldest air over the equator. When I started in the Air Force, I started as a maintenance officer. And I was very fortunate. I was in a small squadron as a maintenance officer. The squadron commander said, "Hey, Walt, I see you're always around airplanes." He said, "Do you have a desire to fly?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, tell me what we can do to help you get there." And from that point on, there were always people along the way who said, "Okay, if you want to do this, are you prepared to do what it takes to get there?" And I was very fortunate to get there. Recently in the Air Force magazine, there were some conversations going back and forth about what the Air Force is doing to get more black aviators. Almost 70 years ago, 80 years ago now I think about it, there were 1,000 black pilots in what was then the Army Air Corps, 1,000. Today, there may barely be a couple hundred. That's completely backwards. Airplane doesn't care what your pigmentation is. It just knows the four factors of flight: lift, drag, thrust, gravity. That's the only thing it knows. It doesn't care about anything else. And there are a number of reasons why people say, no, I think I'd rather not. Now, and I'll just tell you one of the biggest ones. You got to take the astronaut physical. If I come take that physical, they may find something and I may not ever fly again. And that was probably one of the biggest things. The second part of it was you spend a lot of time away from home. The SR-71 had 3 operating bases. If you had those 3 locations, you can cover the world. Not to mention the things that you were doing, there were not many people you could talk to about. My birthday's in October, and the year they picked the dates out of the bucket, my birthday turned out to be number 5 for the draft. Even without that motivation, I probably would have joined the Air Force. 4 years old, 5 years old, I was fascinated with things that flew. My father was a projectionist, and he took me to see a movie called The Hunters. And I saw those jets, and I said, they actually pay guys to do that.